What's up, girls, and welcome back to another video for the channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about one interesting topic, that's sustaining friendships whilst being married. And I have no other than my friend and brother, Bright Agropah, to take us through some factors or points to consider when navigating friendships around marriage. So without wasting my time, let's get right into the video. And before that, please subscribe, like, comment, and share all the video stuff. And let's get right into the video. So why? Okay, so Bright, you're welcome once again to our channel.
Thank you very much. It's been a long while.
It's been a long while. Like, it's been a minute actually. And so today, thankfully, I just sent him some messages and I asked him that, oh, it's been a while, so I would like him to come on the channel so that we share tidbits on friendship, okay? Especially friendship when it comes to being married, right? And the reason why he's the best person is because he's written a book on friendships, okay, a whole lot of topics on friendships. So I wanted us to discuss that bit first, then he'll take us through friendship as a whole, and then what points to consider when navigating friendships in marriage. So right, yeah, when someone wants to know more about friendship, since you've written a book on friendship, what do you think of friendship in general? Let's start from there.
Well, I believe that God, in His own wisdom, instituted relationships.
Okay.
And relationships come in many forms and types.
Okay.
So friendship, dating, mentorship, acquaintanceship, marriage, they are all relationships.
Okay.
And they are very important. And friendship is very important, and the Bible even provides as an instance where Jesus Christ said that He does not call His disciples servants, but He calls them friends.
Oh, nice.
So it means that even Jesus had friends.
Okay.
And He was careful about the friends He chose on earth.
Yeah.
Because He knew the correlation between friendship and purpose.
Okay.
Many times people miss out and people choose wrong friends because they are not aware that there is a correlation between friendship and purpose.
Okay.
And that is a serious matter. But when you look at the life of Jesus Christ, now let me say this.
Okay.
Many times believers think that Jesus Christ just came to earth to die and go.
No.
What is lost on many of us is the fact that He came to live, to show us how to live.
Okay.
And so He came and understood that He needed to fulfill purpose. And to fulfill purpose, He needed friends. And it's interesting to even note that the ultimate purpose of Jesus Christ was to die on the cross to save us.
Yeah.
And so when He was choosing friends, because He is God, He chose a friend who will betray Him. So He even chose somebody who would help Him fulfill His ultimate purpose. And so He was deliberate. He knew. So He chose somebody and chose Judas because he needed to be betrayed. He needed to die.
Okay.
And so He
was
chose.
in line with His
Yes.
purpose.
So He was careful about the friends He chose. To be able to fulfill purpose, you need to have the right relationships and you need to have the right friends
as well.
And so it is lost on many of us, and so people choose friends carelessly, and that is very concerning.
Yeah.
And partly, you see, when people need jobs, they pray to God. When people are sick, they want healing, they pray to God.
Definitely.
When we need money, we pray to God. Sometimes when people need marriage, they do, although it is not so good. But few people pray when it comes to marriage. But how many of us pray to God when it comes to the selection of our friends? Many of us do not actually approach the selection of our friends carefully and prayerfully. And that has brought a lot of people down. And so the importance and the relevance of friendship is lost on many people. And so we need to have friends. To be able to make it in life, you need friends.
Okay.
And there are people who have given up on friendship because they have made some bad friends.
Yeah.
And some friends have showed them shaggy. And they have shown them some pepper. And so because of that, they have vowed, as for me, I will never have a friend. That is a bad decision to make. I tell people that when you choose wrong friends and they show you pepper, accept responsibility that you chose wrong friends. Go back to the drawing table, rely on God, and choose the right friends. There are people who have come far because of friendship.
Yeah.
I know somebody in parliament now who is in parliament because of a friend he chose in Legon.
Wow.
And I've seen how friendship has even benefited me.
You yourself.
Yes. And so if you've made bad friendship, if you've made wrong choices of friends in the past, and it has come with consequences which were not palatable, please just go back and do the right thing. Learn how to choose the right friends, prayerfully choose the right friends, and then God will help you.
Okay.
So that's what I'll say.
So in a nutshell, you are trying to say friendship goes in line with purpose.
Yes.
You have to choose your friends based on your purpose, what's your calling, what you think you are here on earth to do, just as Jesus did.
Yes.
And so aside you say we should choose friends, right? But then along the line in life, we meet people who we didn't think they would be our friends, but one way or the other they become a part of us. And so I want to know, if you become that close to the person and then now you are friends, and you later find out there's this thing about this person I don't like, or there's something about the person that you don't think you can consider the person as a friend, what do you do?
All right, so people do not just become friends, we make them friends.
Okay, we bring them close to us to make them friends.
Yes, so some people come themselves.
Yeah.
Or when they come, whether they'll become friends or not.
You decide.
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't allow somebody to choose you as a friend. You must choose the person as a friend, and allow the person to also choose you. Let me say that there are times where the people we consider friends do not see us as such.
Yeah.
And so in my book, The Art of Friendship, I talk about mutuality of friendships. Now, when the person gets close to you, it's your duty to assess the person carefully to be sure that this person is worth the status of friendship.
Okay.
Now, when people become friends, there are times where you need to quit that friendship.
Yeah.
And you don't quit the friendship just because they have some weaknesses or flaws, or because they have erred against you. No. You are human, you are not perfect.
Yes.
And just as you are not perfect, people are also not perfect.
Definitely.
So you have to understand that it is not everything that you have to take to heart and quickly take a decision that I'm no more going to be a friend. But there are other times that when people show you traits, you don't have to stay as friends. You have to quit.
Okay.
You have to quit because if you are close to such people and these people are not willing to repent, they can negatively impact you.
Okay.
Now let me give you an example.
Okay, an example.
At a point in my life, I got close to two young men. And the environment I found myself in, they were the youngest people I could relate with easily.
Okay.
And so I became close to them. We used to eat together. We used to, go to the house of one person. But at a point I realized that no, I did not belong. Because their views were very problematic.
Okay.
They undermine Christian teachings. They reject the view that Jesus is the only way to be saved. And they had liberal thoughts to the extent that they would even make me feel bad about my Christian belief. You realize that they didn't actually prioritize their Christian belief.
The red flag.
And I realized that and honestly, it taught me a lesson. See, many times we think that peer pressure, it's only a case for young people. No, I realized that at a point in time, I was being influenced. There are times where we are influenced unconsciously.
Yes.
And so I had to run for my life. So I decided to
flee.
yes, I stopped seeing them as friends. I stopped engaging them on many things. If I see them, I talk to them, and I still talk to them. But in my mind, I don't see them as friends. So there are times where people, would show you shaggy, will show you traits that the traits will call that you stop seeing them as friends.
Okay.
And you should not relent in showing them the way. Because see, there are people who say they will stay and also show them pepper. That is not Christ-like.
Yeah.
When people are showing you traits that you don't like, you don't stay and also show them the same traits.
Okay.
The best thing is to help them. If they are not willing to change, you don't stop talking to them, but you stop seeing them as friends and you engage them as acquaintance, people you can talk to, but not people who are friends. Because if somebody is a friend, it's you see, every status comes with roles. So if somebody is a friend, that the status of friendship would come with rules to be played. So you just disengage and see the person as acquaintance or a colleague.
That's
because the impact of friendship cannot be overemphasized.
Yeah.
It cannot. It's very serious, and we should not joke with it.
Okay. Very well noted, right? It cannot be overemphasized. Okay, so when it comes to the topic today, okay, navigating friendships while being married, okay, or as a married person, I want to find out, is there anything different you have to do when you get married when it comes to your friendships?
Well,
yes,
marriage is very important, and when people get married, they must know that their priority become their spouse.
Yeah.
And so at all times, people should know this. But it should not be lost on us that our existence is not just boxed in that relationship called marriage. You need other people.
Definitely.
And there are times where people who are not your husband or wife can do things for you that your spouse may not be able. They may introduce you to opportunities that your spouse will not be able to. You should also know that before your spouse came into the picture, perhaps you had friends, and so you should be able to maintain. What I see oftentimes, and this is a very personal observation, so I cannot make an absolute statement here, is that with many ladies, when they marry, they struggle to keep their male friends.
Oh.
Yes, many ladies, when they marry,
male friends.
now their focus is on their husband.
Yeah.
They forget that before their husband came into the scene, there were friends who were there for them.
Yeah.
And there will be friends who one day would come through for them. But they are quick to just cut off the old friends. I've mentioned already that it's factual that your spouse is your priority, and that we cannot split hairs over.
No.
All right, but your friends were there before your spouse came.
Okay.
And the friends you would even make along the line are people who would one day be blessing to you. Sometimes they are not even going to be blessing to you, but blessing to your spouse.
Yeah.
So to the extent that your friends are not nuisance, your friends are not an impediment to the union, it's important and advisable that you find ways of keeping them. And how do you keep them? It's advisable that you introduce your friends to your spouse. Let your spouse know your friends, even from dating. Once you are dating the person, let the person know the friends you have and the kind of relationship you have with them, the value you place on them, and find a way of drawing your friends close to your spouse. In that case, when your spouse knows your friends and your spouse is a reasonable person, your spouse would not be an impediment to building, your friendship or sustaining your friendship, because there are some people who actually do not want their beloved or their spouses to have friends. And those people, some of them, they not because the woman has done something or the man has done something that shows traits of cheating, but because they are just not confident in themselves. They have their own insecurities. You see, so you should know the person you are dating. But largely, one thing is that you introduce your friends to your partner, if possible. Make sure that there is that relationship with your and two, be careful how you discuss your friends with your spouse. If you discuss your friends in a negative light, it would negatively affect
how he thinks.
Yes, and there are times where your spouse may need some help from you, and your friends would also need help from you. You should be careful in your communication. You should be careful about the details that you
give
reveal,
out.
because if you're not careful, and it is you create an impression that you are prioritizing the needs of your friend above your spouse, you will be jeopardizing your union. So wisdom must apply in this regard.
Okay. But what if someone might also say, oh, my spouse is matured enough to handle every detail I give concern about my friend, which in most cases is not the case, because sometimes the friendship you have with the person will definitely not be the same as what your spouse would have with that particular friend. So I want to know if someone says, oh, my spouse is so matured enough to be able to handle whatever issue or details I give about a friend.
No, I think that irrespective of the maturity of your spouse in dealing with issues, there are some confidential details that must remain between you
and your
and your friends. Because there are times where if your spouse knows, you don't know when your spouse will use that against the friend. And wisdom must apply. There's not every detail that your spouse must know about your friends. There's not every details that you must share with your spouse just because your spouse is your best friend. And then no, wisdom must guide us. Wisdom must at all times guide us in what we share. We must think about protecting the image and the interest of our friends as well. So any detail that you think would put the image of your friend in a bad light, you must actually put yourself in the shoes of your friend and know how to deal with it. So wisdom must at all times guide us, irrespective of the maturity of your spouse. Yes.
Okay. So right, I want to also find out, and I know most married couple or people or in my subscribers or my followers, they want to know, why is it so hard for some people to maintain friendships when they get married? Because I don't know why. Me, for one, I have all my single friends intact. I talk to them, I check up on them when I have to, when they need me. I try as much as possible to be there for them as well. But why is there's some people get into married and all of a sudden they don't have anything to do with their friends who are, be it single or married?
All right, so one is intentionality. Many people are not intentional about sustaining their friends. Once they get married, they think that their focus must all be on their marriage, how to sustain it. So they are intentional with their marriage, but not intentional with their friend. Other people think that what they need is their spouse. They don't need friends again. Oh yes, yes. There are people who, when they marry, they think that all they need. You don't forget that some people even think when they are married, they don't need their family. Not because their family has done something bad, but they just think that I am married. It is my spouse
and I
alone. Exactly. And so when people have this notion that, well, I don't need you, yet some people even think that you play the role in my life. Now that I am married, I don't have to, stay in touch as a friend. When people have that notion, they are not intentional about building their friends. Because some of them, they think that I don't need you again. There is nothing you can do for me. What you used to do or you could have done for me, my spouse can do for me. Other people also think that they must quit the friendship just because of the marriage. Not because they think that their spouse wouldn't like the idea, but they themselves have chosen just to stay away, because in their view they are helping to create no sin, or they are just trying their best to ensure that their spouse does not have a problem, although the spouse has not complained, but they elect to stay away from friends so that their spouse does not have an issue, even if the spouse is not a problem. They choose to do that. Other times too, it is because of the type of spouses they have. If people marry spouses that are very jealous, spouses that have low self-esteem, who have insecurity issues. These people tend to, cut off from friends just because of their spouses. But one critical thing is the fact that, you see, Bible says that people perish because of lack of knowledge. Some people don't know, or they lack the knowledge in sustaining, friendship. They don't know how to properly navigate friendship as married people, and these are reasons why they are not able to maintain their friends after marriage.
Interesting.
Yep.
But I think it's quite easy. I don't know the word. Yeah, but it's easier for married people to make friends, like married couple with this married couple, as compared to marriage and then the single
Good.
friends.
So it brings me to this important point. Thank you. Faulty socialization. There are people, and there are some ignorant counselors who would counsel people and tell them that as a married person, your friends should be married people, because they understand what you are going through and they will be the ones to help you. But if you choose people who are not married, they will not understand you and they will not be able to help you. They are not married to be able to have even the right information to share with you. And so as a married person, your friends must be married people. And, yes, and they are loud on this. You see, and they think they are speaking sense. You see, they think that what they are saying is sensible.
Right,
and they'll keep on spreading this false information. So when people buy into this falsehood, when they are socialized wrongly, this socialization becomes a reason why they begin to look for married people as their friends, and cut off
the single ones.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. That's true. And there's also this narrative of the other party, the single people who after their friends get married, they create this sort of barrier, this sort of distance, between them and the married friends.
It's true.
Why do you think the singles do that?
All right, sometimes it's because they think that, let me give the person space. And this happens, this happens especially in the first 1 month, in my observation. They think that they are newly married. They need to have time to enjoy their union. They need to have time to bond. So let me give them this space. If they are not careful,
what if it transcends?
Yes, if they are not careful, this space would continue. All right. Other people also think that, once you are married, I need to draw the lines and not be close to you. So some of them also withdraw themselves. In this case, it's not the fault of the married person.
But
other times too, it is because they don't like the one you are married to. You see, not everybody is good, and people know that you are making a choice. You are the one going to live in the union, and so they will not say anything, although they are friends with you. So when you go ahead to marry the person, because they don't like the person, they also try to disengage, because they believe that the person will be a barrier to the growth of the friendship. So they will not wait for you to disengage. They themselves
they will start going.
And other times it's because of some traits they've seen from your spouse. Once they realize that, no, this spouse does not like me, some of them would advise themselves, because people who are sane, who want to belong to a place where they are valued. And so when you realize that, no, these people do not actually value me, they would withdraw. And other times too, it is because the married person gives unnecessary pressure to the single person.
Pressure, really?
Pressure, you have to marry. And they make, some people make comments, some people make comments that are very pejorative, comments that are offensive, comments that undermine singlehood. So when somebody is married and has a friend, and has a friend who is not married, and they begin to make, comment that dampen the spirit, unfair comment, sometimes it sends them away. Yes, we should be very careful.
And we've now seen how these things work for them to for married couples and then single friends, whether they be together after marriage or not. But I also want to find out how to navigate this friendship. Okay, how to sustain this friendship between a married couple or a married friend and then a single friend. So how do you balance the friendship so that it doesn't look distance, but yeah, like very close friends as you used to, or it's not possible?
I think we've discussed this already.
I should.
Yes.
The sustainability.
Yes.
Okay. Then let's talk about what else.
You can end it.
All the time.
12:41.
Okay, so then let's conclude, right?
Yeah. Because we've done this one.
Yeah.
I've explained it already.
So let me. Okay, guys. So we've basically, like, this one, Bright has broken it down for us to understand the reasons why married couple and single friends, or people don't have, or people don't know how to navigate friendships when they are married. So I would like him to conclude for us. Okay, tell us how friendship is important to us, whether married or single. So let's talk about like some few importance of friendships in our lives.
So young people, old people, prominent people, people who are powerful, married people, single people, we all need friends.
Okay.
And so we have to come to value. We have to come to the point of valuing friends and know the role they play in our lives, and us being intentional about, sustaining purposeful friendships.
Yeah.
And so it must start with choosing right friends, because if you choose wrong friends, then it makes no sense for you to sustain. But if you have the right friends, learn to keep. And to be able to keep friends, you need the right knowledge. This short time does not give us the full opportunity to exploit. So you may want to consider books on friendship. You may consider my book,
Yes.
The Art of Friendship. It's a book that will teach you so much as to the indices of even a good friendship. It will teach you how to sustain friendship, even with prominent people, how to strike friendship, all of those things. People are not able to make friends because they don't know how to strike, and they ask me many times, how do I do this? But if you see my book, it will provide you with a useful nugget that will help you navigate friendship. So yes, let me conclude by saying that whether or not you'll be able to sustain your friendship or not, it's a matter of intentionality. All parties must be intentional. It takes one person for friendship to collapse, but it takes two parties for the friendship to grow.
That's true.
And so let's be intentional about keeping our friends. Blessings.
Okay, so it takes two to tango. So yes, guys, this brings us to the end of this video. As she said, he has a book on friendship, and then I'll put the link in the description to contact him if you want his number to purchase. You can even buy for your friends, guys. You can buy for your loved ones, family, and then buy for yourself to use as well. So yes, subscribe to this channel because we are going to bring you interesting topics like this. Like this video. So comment, okay. Simple. Leave your comments, okay, what you also think about the topic we just and then I'll put in the cards up here some of the things I've discussed with Bright on this channel, so they can watch as well, or at the end of this video. So peace out. Tell them to subscribe.
Please do subscribe.
Peace.